Hey guys, it's Ricky again, Free Spool Kayak Fishing, and today we're going to start a new series called Tackle Tuesday. Every Tuesday I'm going to put up a video of different tackle that us as fishermen use and just kind of go through it, mainly for people new to fishing, people that haven't tried certain things, and then, hopefully this is informative for you. But I'm just going to go through a whole bunch of tackle that I have and talk about the different aspects, talk about the different kinds. Today we're going to talk about the crankbait. There's so many different brands, styles of crankbaits that are used for different applications, and a lot of people just, they see a crankbait and they're, oh, this will work, not knowing that, what application it's for. And then a lot of people are afraid to use them because there's all these treble hooks on them, and they don't want to get them lost or hung up on something, because some of them do get fairly expensive. But we'll go through, talk about all the different crankbaits that we have. Alright, to start out, I think we're going to start out with the smallest and we'll work our way up to the biggest. As you can see right up here, I have a couple hanging up right there. But we're going to start out with these small little guys and the square bills. Now the square bill is used for fishing in cover, fishing wood, brush, even grass. I like to fish them in grass a lot. And basically because that little square, that square bill, helps deflect the bait off of the cover. With a round bill, you'll get it swimming across and it'll just kind of, when it comes up to it, it'll just roll over and then you're going to get hung up. But with this square bill, what it does is it deflects it, helps deflect. It can't roll, so it'll just deflect it off of that log or limb or whatever. When grass fishing it, I like to use a square bill to tick the top of the grass. And if it, dips down into that grass a little bit, you could just rip it free. But that's the square bill. Some applications for it. A technique that I like to use is when I'm fishing a square bill, keep that rod tip pointed down towards the water. In a kayak, it's kind of hard because you're flat with the water. But boat fishermen, keep that rod tip down, because that's going to help that bill stay down and help those hooks avoid the different types of cover that you come through. Next we have the round bill. The round bill is basically made as a trenching tool, what I like to use it, or what I like to call it. Basically it's getting down there deep and you're just digging a trench all the way across, and it's supposed to imitate a bait fish, feeding on the bottom, or a crayfish moving along the bottom. We'll go over different types of colors and stuff and what they imitate, but basically it's meant to fish on the bottom. You want to dig into the bottom, stir up all that ground, and that's what's going to get that bass's attention. Is when they see that disturbance on the bottom, they know, hey, something's over there doing something, not paying attention. Can I go eat it? And then you have, let's see here, you have a flat body, and let's get a, we'll have to go deeper, and then you have the round body ones. The flat bodies are going to give you more tight of a wobble. When you're going through, they're going to be moving like this. When you get those big round body ones, oh, here's a perfect example. When you get those big round body ones, they're going to be moving all over the place, and they're going to be all over the place. The square, or the flat-sided crankbaits are going to be, your cooler month ones, where there's not a lot of movement, but you're still using that crank to get that reaction bite. But during the colder months, the fish really aren't trying to, you know, find something super erratic to go after. As where these big round body ones, you know, they're imitating bait fish running in and out of places, and so those are, you know, really good for those, you know, spawning, pre-spawn, post-spawn type of scenarios where there's bait fish everywhere and they're just running around crazy like. Alright, next we're going to go over the different types of bills. You have a plastic bill and you have a circuit board. Personally, the circuit board is my favorite just because it takes a lot to try and crack these on, you know, when I'm running them through trees and stuff like that. I've actually cracked quite a few of these plastic ones, but I also feel like the circuit boards kind of get worn down when I am running them down, just because it's a different type of material and not this hard plastic kind. I've actually worn the edges out on one of my crankbaits somewhere, that on these circuit board ones, that it just not necessarily cracking, but running it over a log so many times, you know, it's just gonna erode after a while. Where these plastic ones have more of a rounded out, you know, square bill type deal, and it's, you know, a lot harder, but at the same time these crack a lot faster. We're going to talk about replacing hooks on your crankbaits. Some of the crankbaits come with pretty, well, I would say about maybe 7 out of 10 will come with a decent set of hooks on them. But if you buy some brand like the smaller, we'll give an example of this KVD one right here. They come with pretty thin hooks on them, and they get bent out real easily. So if you're looking to upgrade the hooks on them, I would say don't go bigger than what you have to. That meaning the size, I would, you know, you could go one size up or one size down, but just remember, whatever different size hooks you put on your bait is going to affect the way your bait runs in the water. You can put different brands of treble hooks on your crankbaits and the same size, and some companies may make it run differently. I found that a couple of mine, if I put like a VMC treble hook on it, it kind of, those hooks are a little bit thicker and a little bit heavier, so the bait will actually go a tad bit deeper, a couple inches deeper than what it's specified for. Alright, now we're going to talk about the different depths. When you get a crankbait that looks like this and it has that flat bill right there, that's going to normally be your 1 to 3 foot diving crankbait. That's really good for fishing it on top of, you know, grass and shallow waters, or if you have, you know, like around where I fish, it's, you know, gets maybe a 4 foot depth maximum, and these are the perfect size for running that depth. Then you have the baits with the bills that come straight out almost. These are going to be typically your deeper diving crankbaits, because that bill is so straight. When you pull on that line tie, when you pull on that line tie, it's pulling like this, and all that water resistance is going towards that bill, so it's just going to go down. And obviously the longer your bill is, it's going to determine how far your bait is going to go. Then we have the line ties. The line ties are really going to determine how far your bait goes down too. If you get a line tie, say on this shallow running crankbait, that's right on the nose, it's going to typically, I don't have one right now, but we'll take this for example. You have your line tie right here in the middle of the bill. So your point of contact is going to be that, right there. So when you're pulling it through the water, it's diving like this. Now if you were to put it right here on the nose, your point of contact would be right there and it wouldn't dive as deep. And the longer bills are, the line ties are going to be farther out. So the farther out you go, the more you're pulling that bait down and getting that bait to dive deeper. So that's all I have for today on the crankbaits and different types of them. If you have any comments, please leave them down below. I try to answer all the comments that I get. If you like this, if this was helpful for you, hit that like button. Please subscribe so you can check out next week's video. I think I have a pretty good idea of what we're going to do next week. And stay tuned. We'll catch you next time. Thanks.